Welcome to Metropolis, where the coffee's strong, the headlines are stronger, and a certain farm boy from Kansas is about to find out just how super he really is. In My Adventures with Superman, we follow the roller coaster journey of Clark Kent as he juggles life in the big city while embracing his destiny as the world's greatest hope. But don't be fooled, this isn't just a one-man show. Clark is joined by his two best friends, the fearless Lois Lane, who could sniff out a story in a hurricane, and the ever-enthusiastic Jimmy Olsen, who's got more scheme speculation than you can shake a stick at. Together, they're the trio we never knew we needed, bringing heart, humor, and a bit of chaos to the streets of Metropolis. The season kicks off in the humble town of Smallville, where a young Clark Kent is just beginning to realize that he's not your average kid. Imagine struggling with high school algebra in 1 minute, and the next you're lifting your dad's tractor with one hand. Fast forward a few years, and Clark is packing his bags for Metropolis, ready to start his new gig at the Daily Planet. His first day is anything but ordinary. Lois drags him and Jimmy into an investigation involving some seriously shady military-grade robots. These robots are more than just tech. They're deadly, and they're being used by unknown forces for sinister purposes. Clark quickly realizes that his new life in Metropolis will be anything but simple. When the situation escalates, Clark can't just sit on the sidelines. This is his first real shot at heroism, and he doesn't miss. Using his incredible strength and speed, he steps in to save the day, earning himself a brand new nickname from Lois, Superman. This day not only marks the beginning of his career at the Daily Planet, but also sets the stage for the epic adventures that follow. Meanwhile, we get a glimpse of Leslie Willis, a sharp-tongued radio host with a growing influence in the city, a character who will soon play a much larger role. Clark's curiosity about his origins pulls him back to Smallville, where he digs up his old space pod and learns that he's not just any farm boy. He's from Krypton, a planet that's been space dust for years. This revelation hits Clark like a ton of bricks, and suddenly, life gets a whole lot more complicated. Meanwhile, back in Metropolis, things are heating up, literally, as the electrifying villain Leslie Willis, aka Livewire, escapes from Task Force X. Leslie, once a rising radio star known for her biting commentary, gained the power to control electricity after a freak accident, transforming into the formidable Livewire. Lois and Jimmy, of course, stumble right into the middle of the chaos she causes. Superman comes to the rescue, but despite the victory, Lois falls short of uncovering the true identity of the city's mysterious hero. The stakes are getting higher, and so is the tension between Clark's two identities, as he struggles to balance his life as both Clark Kent and Superman. As Clark tries to keep his double life in check, Lois grows more determined than ever to crack the case on Superman. The Daily Planet's top reporters, dubbed the Scoop Troop, are making big waves, but Lois isn't about to let them steal her thunder. Meanwhile, Metropolis is getting a lot more dangerous, thanks to Intergang breaking Siobhan McDougal, better known as Silver Banshee, out of prison and arming her with some seriously scary sonic gear. Silver Banshee's powers, fueled by a cursed relic, allow her to unleash deadly sonic blasts that can shatter anything in their path. This leads to a showdown at a bank, where Superman's heat vision is put to the ultimate test. Although our heroes come out on top, Lois is left with even more burning questions about Clark and Superman. It's clear that as Clark steps deeper into his role as a hero, the secrets he's keeping from his friends are becoming increasingly difficult to maintain. In the days that follow, the fancy Amazotech Gala is supposed to be all glitz and glamour, but for Lois, it's just another opportunity to dig for dirt. When she and Clark sneak into Anthony Ivar's secret lab, they find something way more sinister than they expected. Parasite armor, designed to drain energy from anything it touches. Ivar, a brilliant but morally bankrupt scientist, loses control of the suit, which starts absorbing energy like a black hole. As Ivar rampages through the gala, draining power from the city's electrical grid and anything else in its path, it's up to Superman to stop him. Amidst the chaos, Lois, caught up in the adrenaline of the moment, mistakes her high-stakes adventure for a romantic date and kisses Clark, adding a whole new layer of awkwardness to their relationship. Meanwhile, Ivar is left deformed and furious, setting him up as a villain with a serious grudge. As Lois starts to suspect that Clark and Superman might be more connected than she thought, the line between Clark's two identities begin to blur in ways even he can't control. Clark's ready to spill the beans about his biggest secret, but Lois beats him to it. Well, sort of. Her investigation into Superman is heating up just as a new wave of super criminals hits Metropolis, turning the city into a war zone. When Heatwave, a walking flamethrower with a grudge, turns up the temperature, Superman's got his hands full. Heatwave isn't just setting fires. He's using them to send a message, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. Things take a darker turn when Slade Wilson returns with a vengeance, setting up a trap that even Superman might not escape. As Lois pushes Clark to reveal his identity, she's shocked to discover the truth herself. While she's still reeling, Jimmy, feeling left out of all the superhero drama, goes on a Bigfoot hunt and ends up getting kidnapped by a giant gorilla. Just another day in the life of Superman, right? Jimmy's Bigfoot hunt takes a wild turn when he's hauled off to Area 52, a top-secret military site where nothing is as it seems. Clark and Lois race to find him, but things go sideways when Clark's powers are zapped by red solar radiation, leaving him vulnerable to OMAC robots. These robots, designed specifically to take down metahumans, are powerful enough to challenge even Superman. Inside Area 52, Jimmy makes friends with Monsieur Malat and the Brain, two former Cadmus operatives with their own agenda. Mala, a super-intelligent gorilla, and the Brain, a disembodied genius, have plans of their own, and they might just involve Superman. After a daring escape and a heartwarming reunion, the Brain drops a bombshell. Task Force X is gunning for Superman, and they've got more than a few tricks up their sleeve. Meanwhile, the General is lurking in the shadows, ready to take down the Man of Steel once and for all. Just when you thought things couldn't get any crazier, in comes Mr. Mxyzptlk, a mischievous trickster from another dimension who thrives on chaos. Mxyzptlk isn't your average villain. He's a being of immense power who can bend reality to his will. He drags Clark into a wild heist that reveals more about his Kryptonian heritage than he ever wanted to know. Meanwhile, Lois and Jimmy get swept up in a multiverse adventure with the League of Lois Lanes, a cross-dimensional squad of, well, Lois Lanes. It's a wild ride that takes them through alternate realities where nothing is off limits. As the multiverse starts to unravel, Lois discovers a new, terrifying threat: kryptonite. This deadly green rock can weaken and even kill Superman, and its existence casts a long shadow over his future. Superman manages to contain Mxyzptlk's chaos, but the knowledge of kryptonite's existence suddenly makes his invincibility seem very uncertain. With Metropolis on the brink of chaos, Clark is burning the candle at both ends, trying to protect the city while keeping his identity under wraps. But the walls are closing in as Task Force X ramps up its efforts to capture him. The public, whipped into a frenzy by Vicky Vale's smear campaign, starts to turn on Superman, questioning whether he's really the hero they thought he was. When Superman tries to rescue Siobhan McDougal, it turns out to be a trap, with Intergang and the villains united in their quest to bring him down. Drained of his powers and captured by Task Force X, Superman faces his darkest hour. As he struggles to regain his strength, Metropolis is left wondering if their hero is gone for good, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats. Flashbacks to Zero Day reveal the grim truth about a past alien invasion led by a malevolent Superman doppelganger. This dark version of Superman wreaked havoc on Earth, leaving scars that are still fresh for those who survived, especially General Sam Lane. The General's memories of this catastrophic event fuel his deep distrust of Superman, whom he fears might one day follow in the doppelganger's destructive footsteps. In the present, Superman is captured and interrogated by the General, who seeks to uncover any potential threats Clark might pose. However, as the interrogation unfolds, the General is confronted with the reality that Clark is nothing like the doppelganger he fears. With Amanda Waller's help, Superman escapes just in time to stop Ivar's latest rampage. Ivar, having evolved his parasite armor, is more dangerous than ever, threatening to drain the life out of Metropolis. The battle is intense.
Hi, Birdwatchers. You know me as Flamebird, but my real name is Jimmy Olsen, Superman's best friend.
Superman has saved this city over and over again.
It's time for us to save Superman.
Come on, Superman.
Honey, turn off the lights.
But Superman, drawing strength from the very people he protects, manages to defeat Ivar. The victory is hard won, and though the immediate threat is neutralized, the specter of Zero Day still looms large. Clark's nightmares continue to hint at an even greater danger that could be lurking just around the corner. Clark's worst fears materialize as a new invasion strikes Metropolis, bringing chaos and destruction from the sky. In the midst of this crisis, his identity as Superman is revealed to General Lane, right in the middle of a tense Thanksgiving dinner. With his secret out and the city under siege, Clark faces the fight of his life against invaders armed with kryptonite and advanced technology. Even as Superman struggles to protect the city, he isn't alone. Lois, Jimmy, and even General Lane join forces to defend Metropolis. Lois organizes evacuation efforts, Jimmy uses his tech skills to disrupt the enemy, and the General, despite his misgivings, realizes that working together is the only way to save the city. Drawing on a holographic message from his Kryptonian father Jor-El, Superman finds the strength to confront the alien leader in a final, decisive battle. Though Superman emerges victorious, Metropolis is left in ruins, and the once clear line between hero and threat is blurred in the eyes of its citizens. As the season wraps up, General Lane, despite everything, contemplates taking Superman out for good, but Lois's passionate plea convinces him otherwise, at least for now. However, the final moments of the season hint at a new, even more dangerous adversary waiting in the wings, setting the stage for an explosive second season.